All right. Can you guys hear me? How was that? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I know you could hear the audio of the... Let me mute the computer again. Camera set up. How did that... all of what we talked about yesterday about practices, that was some, I mean, head-on examples of that's exactly what we do in practice. I kind of waited a little bit longer because I wanted you to see the post moves. I think that was early on in the season with my guys. In the dark green, that's where I was a head coach. In the light green gym, I was the varsity assistant there, in charge of the offense. And I really wanted you to see those post moves because I'm sincere when I say we teach all of our guards to post up. And that group that you were seeing doing the post moves, they were mostly, I had 3 seniors in that group. And then we had about 4 or 5 juniors, and then the rest were freshmen and sophomores. We had like 4 freshmen up from the JV team practicing with our varsity. And maybe that's a topic we can talk about too, maybe this weekend. Once, what do you do with your younger guys? How do you move them up? How do you get in your practices? We'll talk about that a little bit on Sunday. But hopefully that gave you guys a pretty good view of what practices look like. If you do go online and find the Richmond practices, which I don't think they're technically supposed to be on YouTube, but they are. If you do go and see Richmond's practice, you can we almost modeled exactly what they do for the first little bit. So anyway, big takeaways from yesterday. Anything that guys just really stood out, like something you weren't expecting to get that you saw that's like, oh man, that's definitely kind of clicked. That's definitely going to help. I see David, big takeaway was how efficiently you flowed from one skill to the next while incorporating an aspect of the offense. Yeah, absolutely. And what you're going to see as we build through the week, you're going to see this skill work. Once we start getting into the X's and O's more and more, once we talk about, I think tomorrow we're talking about manipulating the defense and how we can tomorrow, I'm going to literally show you how we run circles around the defense tomorrow. And I'm really kind of excited for that one. Every day has its own little special kind of thing. And today we're going to be talking about how do we take the tension out of the game, okay, and what that actually means. So we got we got Brian here from Ohio. Chris, how you doing? David, Coach Dillard, Coach Goon, Coach Burns. You've been thinking about starting another you got it. So everyone's bragging about Coach Burns' newsletter. I've never seen it, so Coach Burns might have to email me about that too. Coach Rodriguez, Joe, how you doing, Coach? Let's see. Justin, will you have a one pager with the practice skill progression? Yes, that was. If you get my emails, you should have gotten an email with that. It should be in the last I usually send 3 emails like an hour before, 15 minutes before when I'm live. In the PS at the bottom, there should be a link to yesterday's to the day 2 one pager. And I know I'm taking the videos down every 24 hours. But at the end of the week, I'll actually send an email or two that lists all 7 one pagers, so you guys can make sure that everyone gets all of those. If you're not getting my emails, send me an email, coach@hoopsindetail.com, and let me know. Let's see, Coach Worsley, men's basketball Central Meg. Let's see, Tennessee. How you doing, Coach? Coach Worsley, Douglas, how you doing? All right, and you guys definitely like YouTube more than Facebook. When I first started out, I would only stream on Facebook, and then we had a lot of. I think YouTube is a better viewing experience. If that's true, let me know that. Okay. All right. So moving on. Today we're talking about how do we remove the tension from the game. And the first time I heard that phrase, it was Joe Scott at a clinic. I actually watched the video of that clinic, and he said that it's the number one reason Princeton teams, why they do what they do, is they want to take the tension out of the game. It's one of those games where, when the way that they break it down, it's one of the hardest games to coach, one of the hardest games to teach, and the reason is for an individual player to become the best individual player they can possibly, they have to work so hard selfishly to become a better shooter, to become a better ball handler, to become a better passer. Players individually have to be so selfish to become as good as they can possibly be. And when the better and better you get, the more that can go to your head. Okay? Then we got 5 players on the floor that have all been doing that. And now we have to find a way to play together unselfishly, where they're going to actually share the ball. Okay? Play together. There we go. Sorry, my camera was focusing, auto-focusing. I had to turn that off. And we have to get them together now, take all that selfish individuality and get them to play together. And the other thing about basketball so difficult is we have 5 players on the floor that we want them to all have the same attributes. You can't have 5 specialists in the game of basketball. You can't have one kid that can only dribble, one kid that can only shoot, one kid that can only score in the post, one kid that can only slash, one kid that can only rebound. Okay, this is not like football where you have a quarterback where all they have to do is quarterback stuff, and a running back all they have to do is running back and block. Receivers all they have to do is run routes, okay, and block. You don't have to have defensive backs, cornerbacks. All they have to do is play defense. Okay, we don't have specialists. Okay, we have in our game, everyone has to have all of the skills. Okay, or at least that's what we're striving to get to. Okay, so for that reason, it's taking the tension out of the game individually, from an individual standpoint to a team standpoint. It's difficult for us to do. Okay, I use the example. I think I used this example Monday. It's kind of like we teach when we're teaching something offensively. So if we're doing ball handling, when we're going up and down the floor, I will say, or when we're working on those ball handling moves at the beginning of practice, I'll say, listen, start with your weak hand. Everyone with left hand. Ball in your left hand first. Let's do that one first. Okay, so we're putting emphasis on, hey, we need to work on that hand. We teach back cuts first before we teach them how to curl or how to use the screen. When we run low post, we feed the low post first. It's the very first thing we do. We don't throw it to the wing, pass fake to the low post, and then go to the next option. We actually throw it in the low, and we drill it over and over and over again. Because using that example, if you don't throw the ball in the low post first, and that post player is not getting rewarded for running the floor and all that physicality they're trying to do to get open and to be open in the low post, and then you don't do that, then coach has to yell at all the guards, throw the ball down low. And then the ball finally goes down low, and 5 minutes like, yeah, I got it, it's mine. And they never throw it back out. And then all the guards almost let one go. Almost got ticked at the guards, or the guards get ticked at the big. Hey, it's a black hole. He's never thrown it back out. And that's what happens. So that's kind of the tension you have as a team. that we also have to work on. Okay, so how do we use our opponent's strengths? We're also going to talk about how do we use our opponent's strengths to our advantage. Okay, and what does it and so let's. I want to get. I'd like to see what your definitions are. What? So I kind of give you some of my examples. What is the biggest tension related aspects you have with your team, or that you see in basketball? What are the biggest sets of tension that you guys are seeing? Or let's and answer this one as well. What are some of the biggest strengths your opponents have that you don't have? Let's just go full circle with it. What are some of the biggest tensions you have with your program, with your teams, or that you just see in basketball in general? And what are some of the big advantages that your opponents have that you don't have? And I'll kind of let those come. But so you're going to have these situations where you're slow, they're quick. Okay, you're weak, they're strong. You're short, they're tall. Okay, those are some real obvious ones. Okay, you're going to have selfish players, and that's a form of tension. You're going to have players with poor court vision. Okay, they can't see what's going on, or you're going to have players who those players who are so when we talk about vision, there are two types of players that can't make a pass or won't make a pass. One of them, and what we say that you have players, we're going to remove one and improve the other. If you have kids that will not pass the ball because they don't like that kid or they don't, we'll remove that. We will actually go to that kid and say, hey, you're going to do what we ask you, or you're not going to play. Okay, and if it's so bad, you remove that kid from the program. Okay, you can remove that attitude. You can remove that. You can remove that part of a player being selfish. Okay. The other reason players don't pass the ball and don't move the ball around well is because they just can't see. They don't have good vision. They're too busy worrying about the basketball and worrying about their teammates to see where the defense is. And then by the time they look up, it's too late. Okay, that one we can improve. Okay, by drilling it, by repping it, by yelling at them to make sure that they are aware of what's going on. Okay, you're going to have players that are not going to buy in right away. Okay, you're going to see this especially more so with boys than girls. And I don't know what your experience is. I've coached both boys and girls, both almost 7 years with girls, 7-8 years with boys. Girls are going to, for the most part, put their head down and do what you ask. Sometimes you're going to have those parents that are in the kids' heads, and those are the ones that might give you back a little bit. But when you go with boys, you have that almost like 10 times. Okay, where you have to really explain things and make them understand why you're doing for them to really buy in. But are you having trouble with players buying into what you're doing? Does any coach here run Princeton or started running Princeton and you're having players have trouble buying into what you're doing? And they're like, I don't know. Because usually what they hear when the parents hear Princeton offense, then they start getting in their kids' ear lunch table talking about, that Princeton offense that's all this and slow down offense and just pass, never try to score, and then the kid comes into the gym with that same attitude. You guys have any of that? Let's go through some of the comments. So Dave, you got good athletes, football, but not great basketball players. Yeah. There's definitely a skill. Something about basketball. I think basketballs are some of our most well-rounded athletes. It takes the biggest combination of skill and athleticism to play the game of basketball. Let's see, Jimmy, tension, basketball IQ, remembering what to do. The depth, not as many players that can play at the varsity level than other teams in our conference. Yeah. Let's see. Brady, size issue lately. Teams guard us easily by switching. We're going to talk about that today. You can't create mismatches. Yeah. Coach Diller getting the ball to their best player, not realizing they also can contribute. Yep. See, athletics, when your teammates, okay, that one was to go first. Lack of self-confidence. Struggle on the perimeter, David. Yep. Brandon, getting into the lane. Only have 2 good ball handlers and teams trap and double team those 2 players. Yeah, that's all tension, right? That's all tension that we have. I see Terry over on Facebook. You have guys that are supposed to be big time, always feeling pressure to be perfect. Yeah, that's tough because parents do that to players a lot. You know, they're ordaining them as superstars. They're telling this is the kind of stuff that they hear, or the kids. Some kids just play because their parents want them to play. How many of you guys have had that? You know, the parents living vicariously through their kids. God, that it almost happens too much, too much. 7 out of 10 kids, at least. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. You see that so much, but that's all tension. That's some really good comments, out there. And that strikes a chord. It really does. You know, your opponent's experienced. You're rebuilding. They're very skilled. You're very athletic. Okay, but does their skill outmatch your athleticism? Does your athleticism outmatch their skill? How many of you coach an athletic team and you're really good when you're getting offensive rebounds and when you're getting defensive rebounds and running in transition? When the game is up and down, you're really good. But when you play a team that's really skilled and they can mitigate your athleticism and turn it into a half-court game, how many athletic coaches who have athletic teams struggle in the half court? Okay, I know we've run into teams where we've won some and lost some. We've run into teams that are just twice as athletic as us, and if we let them get up and down the floor, we're in trouble. But if we got them into a half court game for majority of the game, okay, they had a very difficult time guarding us in the half court, and they had a very difficult time scoring in the half court against us. Okay, that's all tension. Yeah, see, Brad, you're athletic but can't score the ball. So do you guys know one of the big secrets? And I think I've talked about this before. I don't know if I talked about it on this challenge, but one of the big secrets in the 70s and 80s, and Bob Knight is one of the biggest examples of this, and there were a couple other as well. But he was more aware of this one thing in the 70s and 80s than any other coach, and gave the Indiana Hoosiers this huge advantage over all the other coaches. And it wasn't the pure motion. It wasn't the consistent defense that they played, the tough kids. It wasn't the good kids that they recruited. But it was the 3-point line. All right, it was spacing. And some of our older coaches here, back in the 70s and early 80s, there was no 3-point line. So when you look at the game back then, and those teams did not, and I haven't gone real deep into this, but if there's no 3-point line, where are your players going to run to? Right? So like if in high school, if you're running an open gym and you're just letting them play, when the kids are coming down on offense, where do they run? They run right to the 3-point line. Okay, it's just it has a magnet. You know what I mean? And if there's no 3-point line, a lot of teams, they're all starting in here in the mid post. And next thing you know, you got 8 kids within 18 feet of each other. And it got really hard to score. So one of the really good coaches in the 70s and early 80s, they got really good at, even though because there was no 3-point line, they would still stand way the heck out here. Okay, and then they could space out the floor. Okay, so when we're talking about removing tension from the game, one of the first things that we have to look at is the 3-point line and where we go on the floor, where we start on the floor. Okay, and this is one of the big reasons why the high school game, there's 2 reasons, there's 2 big differences between, and you can go down the line, whether it's middle school, high school, collegiate, professional. There's 2 really big, the first obvious one is each level you go up, the talent goes up, the skill goes up, speed goes up, right? Okay, the more talented, the more skilled, the faster the game is going to be. But the more, if you have 5 in high school, you got 2 kids that can shoot, you don't have to spread, you can pack it in a little bit, and you only have to guard the shooters that can shoot. At the collegiate level, you got 4 guys that can shoot. All right, at the professional level, you got 5 players on the floor that can all shoot. So you have to respect that, and that's one way that the game gets spread out. Phil, Coach Carter, you guys could play on a bowling alley. It's hilarious. But the other reason is the 3-point line. At the high school, here's a 3-point line. In college, here's a 3-point line. In the NBA, it's way back here, and they moved the half-court line back there. So that 3-point line is out here at the collegiate level. Okay, they're not always standing on the 3-point line; they're standing off of it as well. Okay, and the same thing at the NBA level, and that's why when you look at the Princeton offense, you cannot run the offense exactly the same way. You can run the same sets, you can run the same actions, okay, but you're not going to always get the same looks college teams get that you're going to see in a high school game, because the defense is, and I use this example all the time. If the ball's in the post, okay, and we're looking at where our defenders are, you're going to have, I like matching my numbers. At the high school level, you're here and you're here. Okay, when you're playing help side. And where's our one guy? There he is. Okay, at the college level, nothing has changed, but it looks more like that. Okay, at the professional level, they've got a rule that says you can't be in there for more than 3 seconds. Okay, so this is one of the reasons, this is another thing about the spacing of the game. Okay, so this is the first area that we really talk about, really hammer about when we talk about removing the tension. We want to space out the floor. Okay, we want to space out the floor. So no standing on the 3-point line. Okay, we're not going to start our offense from the 3-point line. Okay, because the first thing that happens if you're standing on the 3-point line, if we take the D off and we let's go ahead and back it up here like you're going to enter your offense. Get my guys back up to where I like them. Okay, if you're standing on the 3-point line, you know one thing for sure. There is one thing that is guaranteed. I know that kid's going to be guarded. I know there's going to be another kid standing right next to him. They don't even have to be denying. Just the fact that they're standing next to them, they're not open. Okay, so what do you yell from the sideline? Get open! Okay, and then what's this kid do? Oh no, I've got to go to my defender to get away from my defender. Okay, now what happens if this kid is quicker than your kid? What happens if this kid's got 3 inches on your kid? 7 inches in wingspan? What happens if this kid's more physical and you go bump him and he doesn't let go? She doesn't let go. All right? So it's turning into one of my biggest pet peeves. Why would you run to the 3-point line? Okay, you don't have to score on the first pass. Okay, so what we tell our guards is we say get off the 3-point line. And what we're going to do is most coaches will say foul line extended, start there. We will come all the way up to 3-point line extended if we have to. Somewhere in between. But most of the time, I mean, if you're playing a team that's more of a pack line team, not pressure, and you know that going in, okay, right in there between the foul line, 3-point line is great. If you're playing a team that you know pressures you or you know is going to pressure you, all right, let's start 3-point line extended. Let's see if they're going to come deny us out here. Okay, now if you're doing that there and doing that here, okay, now look. Okay, that defenders are like, well, they can't score from out there. Okay, they're not a threat. Why would I go deny out there? Okay, and most teams, if they're like, well, if you're going to stand here, it's like, well, I might as well deny you. Okay, because you have that area where you're either wide open, okay, you're either denied and not open, or there's that middle area. Not sure. Am I open or not open? Don't know. Is this kid just trying to bait me into something or not? Okay, so if you're on a 3-point line, you're not open. You're not getting the ball. If you are 2 feet off a 3-point line, that kid's defender's like, oh, I can stand on a 3-point line. It's kind of gray area. Are you open, not open? Okay, and if your players have to ask questions in their head while they're playing, okay, now there's a thought process going on. Now I'm thinking. And if I'm thinking, I'm not reacting. Okay, if I'm not reacting, I'm making slow decisions. And I'm making slow decisions, I'm going to make poor decisions. Okay, because the defense is, they're not thinking. Okay, they know what they're doing. All right, so it's really important to just take that part out of the game. Just get the heck off the 3-point line. We tell our players to be open, don't get open. Okay, so we don't V-cut. Okay, so a lot of teams, they'll go right here. It's like, okay, well, I'm here, so I'm going to take my guy all the way down here. Okay, and here they're going to come down with me, but they know there's a post player down there, so they're like, well, I got something in my eye. So they're going to be like, I don't have to go all the way down here. You're not going to get behind me. There's also defense here, defense here, defense here. So you're not tricking me or anything by V-cutting. But then it's like, okay, now maybe you try to push into him, get an elbow and try to push out, or maybe you just V-cut. What happens if this kid's faster than you? Okay, he's longer than you. She's got all right long. Now you've turned this one-on-one battle into who's more athletic, who's more talented, who's got more natural gifts. Okay, it's not smart. We're fighting their strength, and it's the most simple. I feel like it's so simple, but we don't. I don't see coaches trying to solve that problem. Okay, you see teams all the time who are a little bit slower, a little bit more physical, and they're like, well, let's just go and try to V cut, or let's do an L cut, boom, and let's hit them with their elbow and push off and then pop up, or let's circle cut. Let's see if we can circle around them and make them dizzy and try to pop open. Just stop right there and see if they come deny you or not. Right? It's almost too simple. It's almost too simple. We're not trying to score in the half court or on the first pass. So we're not trying to score on the first pass. Okay? You might say this, well, what about down screening? How about we down screen to get open? Okay, and I think someone just said this. Hey, let's come in, let's down screen here, let's down screen here, and this is what happens. I was talking to a coach earlier today, either via email or messenger. I'm trying to remember who it was, but basically this is what happens here. How many of you down screen or ever down screen to get into your offense? Okay, this was me in high school. This is what we did. Okay, and well, I played mid 90s, late 90s. There was no switching back then. It was all Coach K, old school Duke man to man, old school Dick Bennett, Wisconsin man to man. You fight through everything. It's Tom Izzo. They fight through everything. There's no switching. And we might be able to get through here. Where's my 3-man? And boom, get through here and do this. But what's happening now? Okay, especially teams that don't have traditional bigs. Okay, it doesn't matter what side we're on. But now we're going to come off this and boom, they're just going to, hey, let's just switch it. What the heck? Why fight? And their defenses are getting smart. They're like, why fight that? We've got our 4 guys are all four of our defenders are very similar. You guys got something, just switch it. Okay, so why would we set a down screen and try? Now we're fighting to switch. Now I'm one-on-one with this kid. Okay, and if they're guarding you here, and you keep coming out, they're not going to stop now. They're already on you. Like, I got this kid. I can bother them. So they're not going to stop. Oh, no, stop 3-point. I'll let you go. No, they're going to follow you as high as you go. Okay, because it's like now they're in your head. Now that defender's got momentum. Now maybe I can get a deflection, a steal, and get a layup. Coach, be proud of me. Right? Okay, so why start your offense like that? Okay, now, if you have bigger, faster, stronger kids, you can get away with that stuff. Okay? All right. Now you might have bigger, faster, stronger kids for 75% of your game, but how are you going to beat those other 5 teams? Those other 5 games on the schedule. You get in the tournament, you're bigger, faster, stronger the entire season. You get some small schools that win a lot and go deep in the tournament. What happens when you're your last 4 or 5 games in the tournament before the state championship? Now you finally get up there and it's like, oh, now talent's a little more equal. Oh, now we got a couple teams that are more now they're bigger, faster, stronger than us. Okay, do you want to still try to V-cut to get open, down screen to get open? Now you got kids that are quicker than you. Okay, eventually it's going to happen. So it just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, and all the time, all the while that we're trying to V-cut and down screen and circle cut and L cut, the whole time we're trying to get open here. It's not like the point guard standing here or picked up the ball, say, okay, get open. Whenever you're open, I'm going to throw it to you. That's not how it works. Because they got this kid on them. Right, they got Muggsy Bogues on him. And he's up in your junk. And they're denying you and turning you. So this kid has to get open at the exact perfect moment that this kid can also create enough space to throw that ball. And what happens is, especially if you're less talented, less skilled, rebuilding, now you're not going to, this kid might be able to make a pass, but they might not be open. Shoot, we're stuck. Okay? This kid could have gotten open, but this kid might not be able to make the pass around their own guy. Now we're stuck. Okay? So we don't V-cut. Okay? We don't screen to get open. We don't give the defense up here enough time to turn our point guard left, right, left, right, left, right. We want to get into our offense as quick as possible. Okay? So the very first thing that we do is if they're open, boom, throw them the ball. Decision done. If they're wide open, decision done. Throw it there. It's an easy, quick decision. Okay, you stop V cutting, and if you can just go somewhere where you're open, how many turnovers a game do you have trying to make that first pass? Either this kid dribbling it off their foot, getting it deflected out of bounds. How many times that happen in a game? Stand out here and cut down your turnovers by 3 or 4 a game. I mean, that legit could happen if you average 20 turnovers a game, which is a lot. But a lot of high school games sloppy. It can be very sloppy. Okay, can you get 20 down to 17? Okay, can we do a couple other things by relieving pressure by going back door or instead of all coming to get the ball and maybe get that 17 down to 15 or 14? Okay, now that's 7 or 8. It's maybe 6, 7, 8 more shots that we can get in the game. Hit half of those, that's maybe 8 more points a game that you get. Okay, it's little things like that add up. So that's one of the big tension releases. Just spacing. Just go to where we go to be open. Now take this a next step further. So if they're open, great. Throw them the ball. We're in our offense. Okay. The other thing you're going to see, and this question is going to come. All right. Well, what if they're denying us, coach? Great. I am 100% love that. I love seeing this and I love seeing that equally, because all that tells me is he's not open and it's obvious. All right, so my point guard can make a snap decision. They're not open. Boom, let's go to the next thing. And you will have a next thing. Okay, so if you're running low post and they're open, boom, throw it there. Boom, you're in it. Quick decision, easy. Okay, if they're out here denying, boom, they're not open. Boom, let's go to the next thing. Okay, maybe in your offense, you swing it here, let's run low post on this side. Maybe that's what you do. Or maybe you swing it, and run chin. Maybe that's what you do. But you have a next thing. Okay? Now, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole for 1 second. I'm going to come right back out, I promise. Okay? What if they deny this one, coach? Okay? I can't throw it here. I can't throw it here. All right, I'm going to wave them through. Hey, get out of my way. I can't throw it here. I can't throw it here. I can't dribble anywhere because they got 3 defenders. Wave them through. Boom. What is that? All right, that's the point series. Okay, low post isn't open, run chin. Chin's not open, run point. Okay? Now, I'm not saying have all of those in there to start. Okay? So, again, that's a rabbit hole. But I'm just, as an example, you can see how defense takes one thing away, we have another option. They take that one away, we have another option. Okay? And we can get into our offense. And there's all kinds of, this is all kinds of endless different ways to pressure release against whatever the defense is going to try to do. Okay? But, okay, now the last one, and this is the one that's tough. Are we open or are we not open? Okay, now we're thinking. Now there's tension again. Okay? No tension if they're standing here. No tension if they're standing here. That's fine. We're gonna use that pressure against them. The further away they come from the basket, the more we're gonna burn them back door. I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay? I think I like the back door more than I like the wide open 3. All right, I love it. They want to come pressure us out there? Fine, great. Okay, but easy. Right here, are we open, not open? Okay, now we got more tension. So what do? How do we eliminate the tension of our point guard thinking, are they open or not open? I'm not sure. Can I get it there? Can I not get it there? I'm not sure. I'm going to leave this up to you and your knowledge of your individual players. Okay? And maybe it's a game by game night. If you're more talented, let them throw it. If they think they can get it there, throw it. Okay, but if you're not sure, if you're not confident, if you think your players are not super confident about that, all right, what I'll tell them is if you're not sure, they're not open. Okay? You guys get that? So if you're not sure, they're not open. Okay, if we look at this and say, boom, they're open, easy. Not open, easy. Not sure, not open. And it's easy. So you take that decision making and the thinking, you try to get the thinking out of their head. You know what I mean? You don't want them to think, you want them to react. Okay, so you want to prepare them for that situation. Hey, you're coming down and you're not sure if they're open, boom, just go to the next thing, run chin. All right, run point. All right, check it one time. Forwards out opposite. Okay, run circle. Run, run green, run something else that's in your playbook. Okay. Hey, if they take the first thing away, we've got a second thing. All right. You guys have any questions about that? While you guys are, I know there's a lot of conversations in the comments. If you have a question, just put question in front of it. So as I'm scrolling up, because I know sometimes it's boring to watch me read, but if I can find the question faster, I can answer it faster for sure. Okay. Another form of tension. All right. No matter what offense you run, if the ball is not moving offensively, okay. If the and now let me clear this up. I actually love standing in your offense. Okay, Jim Burson at Muskingum, he would say, stand judiciously. Stand judiciously. All right, you're standing with a reason and a purpose, and you're anticipating what's coming next. I love standing. When I'm on the wing and the ball is one pass away, I'm standing like this. Okay, I'm kind of walking. I'm kind of backpedaling. I'm standing. Okay, it's a move and a counter move. If I stand, what might my defender's down here like this. They see me come down like this, and I'm in a stance offensively. They're going to be in a stance defensively. But if I stand up offensively, the split second that defender goes from here to here, boom. Now I'm going to move, and now they're a split second late, and that might be the difference between a layup or not. Okay, so I love standing. But what I don't like is a lack of ball movement. Okay. We stand in strategic parts of the offense, but if the ball is not moving and the players aren't moving, what I hate more than anything is all 5 defenders standing. Okay. And you start to see this when you see college teams. You see it in the college, you see it in the pros. Once they start playing hero, you can see it coming. Oh man, he's going into hero ball. All right, he's just going one-on-one, and the defense is just standing. Now you got 5 defenders watching one player trying to take over. Okay, and now you've got tension again offensively. Okay, now I'm not against isolations. I love isolations. Anytime we can get them, but I want to get them through ball movement. I want to get them through player movement. Okay, a standing defense. Okay, and a defense that is not, I should say, a non-moving defense is a great defense. If defense doesn't have to they don't have to guard cuts. They don't have to negotiate screens. They don't have to get through things. They don't have to talk and figure things out about how to those are good defenses. Okay, those are good defenses. And then we talked about poor vision, removing and improving. We talked about slow decision making. Okay, those are all the big ones. Okay, let me stop right there and see if you guys have any questions. So I pop in and should be drinking tea and not pop, but healthy pop. Not as thirst quenching. All right, you guys have any questions at all? Justin, how do you determine the leak based on matchup, scout, or your own personnel? The leak. What do you mean the leak? I think anything that you do. One of the things I look at when I do, and I've got a, I tell you what. At the end of this, remind me, Justin. I'll tell you guys where you can go get my scouting report. I've got it up there for free. I'm taking them down eventually, but they're still up. When I'm watching scouting, when I'm scouting a game, I want to see what their tendencies are defensively. So one of the first things that I'll look for, I'll ask my scouters that are out scouting, do they jump to the ball? Okay, do you think they're going to deny us way out here, or are they going to pack it in here? All right, if the team you're playing has a tendency to do one or the other, okay, then you can say, okay, well, hey, we might be able to just zip it here and go. Okay, does the team jump to the ball defensively? Well, if we're running chin and they don't jump to the ball, hey, I'll tell our players, hey, tonight we might be able to get some more off the shuffle cut. Right? Or if they do jump to the ball, well, hey, we might not get much off the shuffle, but let's look in the post. If we don't get anything, let's look back to the drift. And Justin, I don't know if you were asking me that question or if you were asking someone in the comments, but I answered it anyway. What was going through my head? Yeah, I think you were asking Brad. Most the rabbit needs to defend a kid that doesn't rebound offensively. You guys have your own conversation going on in YouTube. I love it. You guys have any questions about what we've done so far? Okay. So I also want to, so let's go ahead and move on to, so this is all tension. Let's get rid of the tension. There's a question. So Coach Taylor, so most teams in your conference play an even front zone, like a 2-3 or 2-1-2. Is this effective against a zone? I see how it works against man. Yeah. I typically, and this is kind of side topic. So against zones, Princeton stuff, I like running chin, and we'll adjust our chin where we go and what we do. But I always, whatever I do against a zone, I always end up trying to get a kid in the short corner and a kid at the high post. And chin does that very well. Now, chin also gives you a screener, screening a guy to the short corner, screening a guy off the drift. Okay, now your 5-man's at the high post. And then we drive, and there's a lot of different stuff that we can do. But if you're going to run a Princeton set versus zone, I like chin. I think it'll work against any of them as long as you get the ball to the short corner against any zone. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-3-1, 1-2-2, 2-1-2, 2-3, 3-2. Ball is in the short corner or the corner. That defense has just turned into a 2-3 zone. Okay, and if your players understand how a 2-3 zone works, once it's there, boom, once you pass it out and reverse the ball, the defense can never really get back to what they were doing if you get the ball back out well. So we like getting the ball in the short corner, get the ball in the middle versus a zone. Zone just collapses and it's not really a zone. It's just kind of like, oh no, protect the basket. See, Brad, you've been talking fast break. You seem to be running your wings to the wings to the slots, and most of us run to the corners. So what I would say, Brad, like if you're running fast break, like if you're trying to score out of a fast break, like off of a defensive rebound or a turnover, yeah, go play. What I would do is you're kind of talking more about what you would do like in a secondary. So you're getting down the floor and you get right into it in an attacking offensive set. So like what I would do, once I had the guards, we actually, and once they were freshmen and sophomores when I first had them. Once they became juniors, I'm like, we got 5 really good guards. Okay, I don't want to box them in by just running a slow down Princeton, but I want to give them an opportunity when we play teams where we're going to have advantages that we're going to want to run. So I told them, so if we get defensive rebounds and turnovers, let's go ahead and do dribble drive. So we would run, so Brad, we would run to the corners and we would run our dribble drive and we would loop it, we would skip it, and we would run some specific action. If we didn't get anything then, okay, we're not going to get anything out of that. Boom, let's get right back into our Princeton. So we get right back into our low post, right back into our point or whatever we were doing. So if you want to run fast, it just depends on where the defense is. Because, I mean, if you have the advantage and you want to go, yeah, you can send your kids to the corners, but I would do it strategically in a point. Are you sending them to the corners in your 5-man opposites so you can drive to the basket? Or send them to the corners so your point guard can boom get here across to the middle, which I would still consider like a dribble drive look. Anything that you want to do that if you write it, I mean you can get right back into your Princeton, but have a plan to do it. If you want to stretch it out and let your guards play, I'm totally cool with that. I've done it. So we would run dribble drive, okay, and then we would run the action that we would run. And it would just naturally flow right into our low post stuff, right into our point stuff. And then we could easily get back in the chin because of all the counters that we had. So does that help, Brad? So, yeah, so if you guys are in a fast break, again, go try to score. Or even if you got 3-on-2, whatever advantage you have, go score. If you have advantage, if you have numbers, this is something that we do. And I've done this not purposely, but sometimes we get in our heads and we run the offense. Then something happens within the offense, or like you said, in transition, where we have an advantage and they're so conditioned to running the offense, they don't try to score and they try to run the offense. So you do have to be mindful when, and I'll tell kids, hey, listen, sometimes I just tell this to individual players, the playmakers, the ones that can. I won't tell this to role players. Listen, if you can go score. Right? If there's something, kid falls down, don't stop running the offense. Don't listen to me. If I call out a set and something's not open, don't run that. If I tell you to run this or run that, but you look, hey, there's no help side, boom, drive to the basket and score. I don't, we're playing basketball. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Okay. All right. Cool. So the last couple parts I want to talk about here real quick is so that's a lot of like the tactics. So the overall strategy, I think we've kind of hit this a little bit as well. I'm kind of going through a couple notes here, so sorry. So I do apologize if I repeat a couple things. So when you think of your strength, your weaknesses, and your opponent's strengths and their weaknesses, okay, are they bigger than us? Okay, if they're bigger than us, what are their strengths? Okay, they're bigger, they're taller, they're longer. Okay, where are their weaknesses? Okay, they might be overconfident. They might have slower feet. Okay, they might be real long, but they might be a little bit of slow. If you're playing a team that's faster than you, okay, what are their strengths? They're faster, they're quicker, they're pestier. What are their weaknesses? Well, they're probably going to be over aggressive. They can be overconfident. They're going to gamble. They're going to be impatient. Quick players can be very impatient. Okay, so when you're approaching and playing teams like this, use that. You want to use their strengths and find the weaknesses in their strengths. Okay, if you if you're playing a team that's stronger than you, how many of you play those country schools that they're all football players? They're not great skill. I think a couple of coaches said they have those kind of players, but you got football players on your basketball team, right? They're more physical, they're stronger, they're rebounding type kids, okay, and those are strengths. But their weaknesses, hey, they might pack it in. They might be a little bit slower with their feet. They might be a little bit clunky. They might be a little bit less skilled. They want the game to be a fight. They want the game to be like offensive lineman, defensive lineman, all right, where you might want to make the game, you might want them to play basketball. Okay, and whoever can dictate the style in any of these situations, whoever can dictate the style of the game, all right, you can turn a team's strengths into weaknesses. Okay, so as you're kind of David, that's you. So as you're going, but you think about what your strengths are and what your opponent's strengths are. But every strength has a weakness. Okay, as long as you're looking for it, as long as you're trying to pull it out. Okay, so when you start honing in and start thinking about the game this way, how different is your approach to the game, thinking about this tension, all right, and trying to eliminate this tension. Does this go against anything that you guys have done in the past? You know, whether you run Princeton or whether you've run Princeton in the past or run something else, whether you're read and react coach, double drive coach, triangle coach, or if you've run Princeton, is any of this kind of help either explain, oh, that's why we do that in Princeton? Or is any of that like, oh, if we did that in Princeton, that would make that a lot easier? Does any kind of light bulbs go off when you guys when you hear any of this? I know I've got like a 15-second delay, so there's always kind of like that pause. I ask a question, I wait to see if you guys are posting in the comments. Phil, your girls' team could have been a football team. When I was first hired as a head coach, Phil, the football team was struggling. But when I would go there over the summer, and I would notice, because I was there a lot. When I was head coach, I was there as like a second full-time job. I'd work 8 hours a day, and I'd be at the high school 6 hours a day before I would go home. But for a year or two, there were more girls basketball players in the weight room consistently, day to day to day, than there were football players. So, yeah, I see you. Awesome. You guys have any questions about anything that we've talked about today? You guys have any questions about what we talked about yesterday? I do want to show you guys something, but I want to see if you guys have any questions first. I got a little bit more, and then we'll get out of here tonight. But guys, let me know if you guys have any questions about anything we talked about today or yesterday or even Monday. Monday we talked about where to start offensively, what sets to run, how to match those with your players. Yesterday we talked more about skill work and elevating the skills of your players. And today we're talking about removing the tension. You guys can you see how everything kind of blends together? Is it making sense? Is it the order that I'm teaching this? Is it kind of making sense to you guys in a way? Is there anything that I've explained that's still kind of confusing? This is the kind of stuff that'll help me kind of, because if it is, please let me know so I can try to be better myself. All right, cool. Well, let's see here. So let's move things around a little bit. One more second, see if any questions pop up. So Bev, so the discussion going on was about coaches being uncertain, um, flattening the D in transition, in a fast court transition. The easy early entry be open concept was foreign to their thinking, not that connection. So I'm trying to put that together. So you're trying to flatten the D in transition. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you're trying to push in transition and flatten the D, but being open early was the foreign concept to your players, to your thinking. I think if I read that right, Bev. And that's one thing, you know, one of the reasons why I'm not the kind of person who thinks like everyone. I try not to think like everyone else is thinking. When everyone else is zigging, you want to zag, right? That's the cliche. All right, that's what Princeton does, and they still do it today. Right? The Princeton philosophy and just the way that they approach the game has a very fresh look compared to a lot of other teams. So I really like the way Princeton teams think, and that's why I really kind of why I gravitate to this more than anything else I've ever gravitated to, especially in the game of basketball. So very cool. Okay, I do have a question. I really and reason I ask you guys a lot of questions because I want to know what I'm doing well, what I need to do better in. But one thing I do, I really take a lot of pride in over delivering and giving as much value as I can. And tomorrow I'll email you. I'll send you an email tomorrow with the one pager for today. Okay, and then yesterday's video is going to come down at midnight, so try to watch that as quick as you can. Today's video is going to come down tomorrow because we didn't have any hiccups. So today's video is going to come down before I start tomorrow's video at 7:30. Okay, but I try to over deliver and give as much value as I can in every situation, everything that I'm doing online. And I think in this space, especially, I give more away for free than I think what you can pay for anywhere else especially when you're looking at the Princeton stuff. I think you get more for free in this 7-day, or if you've ever been to a 3-day masterclass, than you can get in any other place online for what coaches charge or for playbooks or stuff like that. I think I really try to give more value than anywhere. And I think, or should I say, I humbly believe, because maybe I'm wrong, but what I've been working on and putting together, most of this behind the scenes, I don't talk about this every single day, just usually when we kind of throw these events. But because I don't talk about it or make it available all the time, I have a Princeton offense program. It just stands alone. It has no rivals. The value is so high. If you think I'm over delivering now, and I think we have a couple coaches in the group that are in that coaching program, can probably vouch for how much we try to over deliver there. But I try to over deliver in a way that would, I try to over deliver content in a way that would make Amazon jealous. It's kind of the way I approach what I'm doing. So I do all of this for free to try to just over deliver and give you guys as much value and as much content, as much help as you guys are looking for. But what I wanted to know is it okay if I spend the next 15 or 20 minutes just showing this program that I have behind the scenes to you? Is this something you guys are interested in seeing? Because what I'm giving away for free kind of pales in comparison to the other program that I've got for it. Coach Rodriguez, thank you. Yeah, vouched for. Thank you. So would you guys mind taking a look at that? Is that something you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments. Say yes in the comments. You want to check it out. This is the coaching program. Like, we're gonna spend about 7 to 10 hours together once we get through Sunday. But I've got something where I go even deeper. I kind of tell coaches that there are rabbit holes, and when I'm teaching like this, I'm trying not to go down all the rabbit holes, because they're all over the place, and you have to do it in a very specific way, or it's very easy to get. You can confuse your players, and I could confuse other coaches when you teach the Princeton offense. So if you guys would like, just let me know in the comments if you guys would want to see this. And this is the coaching. This is like the real in-depth coaching program that I have separately from what I'm doing right now. And if you think if you guys are getting a lot out of this, this other coaching program is going to kind of blow you away. So Coach Dillard, sure, thanks. Coach Gibson, that's right. Coach Gibson, Princeton Offer package from Coach Wheeler is great. Highly recommend. Awesome. You have a one pager for day one, Gary. Yeah, I do have a one pager for day one. I'll email that out. I'll make sure that's by the end of the week. I'll email everyone to make sure that you guys can get all of the one pagers. Justin, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Is that a yes? I'm not seeing a whole lot of yeses because we can go on. If you guys don't want to check this out, I want to show you guys the members area. I kind of want to show you guys. I kind of want to show you guys the rabbit hole a little bit. Okay, you guys want to do that? I'm going to go 15, 20 minutes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it. But if you did want to, if you think this is great, and again, I'll talk about this a little bit more, but if you want to go down, it's hard to go down rabbit holes without having hours upon hours and spend a whole lot of time with you guys. So I'd love to show you guys this if you're interested. David, this is Unimi, so you're open to seeing more? Awesome. Coach Dillard, with high school, I think it can't get too complicated. It can, yeah, definitely. Brian, awesome. Okay, thanks. Okay, I just want to make sure it's good with you guys, because if not, we can certainly move on. So what I want to do is I want to hop over and boom, there we go. Okay, I want to take you guys down the rabbit hole if you guys are interested in doing this. This is where the technology sometimes is buggy. Boom, there we go. Okay. One of these days I'll figure out how to do this a little bit easier. Okay, so what I want to take you guys down and give you a glimpse of the rabbit hole of the Princeton offense, because what I'm trying to do in the 7-day challenge is give you a solid foundation. With what I teach you, hopefully within the 7 days, you guys are going to be confident and solid about moving forward with the Princeton offense and running it with your program. What I'm going to show you now is just like a step further, and it's almost like, it's not like walking off a cliff, but I'm going to try to hold your hand as we go down this rabbit hole. And, you know, I kind of joke and I ask Coach, like, do you want to take the red pill? You want to take the blue pill? Okay. If any Matrix fans out there. So what this is, this program is not, now, again, this program is not just like a 39 DVD program. It's not a 45-minute talk. It's not like, I think I did a clinic last week, when Coaches Clinics. It's not like an hour and a half thing. This is not a subscription program. This is not a membership program. This is a one-time and you've got it all coaching program. It's not even, I think we're gonna spend 7 to 10 hours. It's almost 5 times that. So I really want you guys to understand what it's not. Okay, this is my sham. This is my Princeton wow moment. All right. So what I did when I first started teaching this offense, we actually did this live. It's already been recorded, but we did an 8-week workshop, and we did it live with coaches on Facebook and YouTube. And what we did is every single week for 8 weeks. Actually, it was 9 because we did a prep week. This last September, we did a prep week. But we spent at least 2 to 2.5 hours a week, one night a week, on just whiteboard instruction. This whiteboard right behind me, and breaking down the entire offense in an order that makes sense, so that coaches were ready. So we did it in September, so that when they got to practice in October, November, they were ready to go. And everything was laid out for them. And again, what I do differently than everyone else out there, everyone else that's teaching Princeton, they teach you to run the offense like they run the offense. What I'm trying to do is teach you how to learn the entire offense, so you can pick and choose what's right for your team. And I think that's the biggest mistake we make. A lot of coaches are trying to learn the offense the way, like it was a mistake I made. I tried to run the offense like Air Force. I put too much in too fast. I mean, we did a good job putting it in, but I also did not match the offense to my personnel. I had 2 big guys. Both could play on the perimeter. Both could play in the low post, but I didn't utilize my second forward in the low post nearly enough. Didn't know how to do it. I was just trying to do what the Air Force Academy was doing, and it was wrong. Okay, but a lot of things that I did get from them were great. They worked well for my guards. I wasn't as good as mixing in my post players as I should have been, or getting my forwards into the low post. So I was running someone else's offense that didn't match my players. Okay, and we were trying to run a very skilled offense with players at a time that might not have been ready for everything that we put in. Now, if I would have taken more time, I could have gotten there. But that's one of the big that's what separates me from everything else out there on Princeton offense, is I want to show you the entire package, okay, in a way that makes sense as you're learning it, so that you can pick and hey, we're going to start with a low post, and we're going to put that in. Then we're going to phase into point. And then we're going to grab some chin stuff, and then we're going to go back to our point. You know what I mean? Or they're going to take this away and point. Now we're going to counter with this. So I want to give you the whole picture so you can run the offense that makes sense for your kids, for your team. Okay, not running someone else's offense. So this is what the whiteboard sessions look like. The first week we did a prep week. We talked about the core 4 quadrant, kind of what we talked about on day 1. So that was week 0, prep week. Week 1 we talked about all the X's and O's of core 4. We spent about 2.5 hours, maybe 2:45, I think, on week 1. Just going through the first 4 series, and then there's a series that I call the Flash series. And we talked about that week 1. Then week 2, we went into all of the faces and the counters and the audibles. And if you haven't ever seen me, if you've never seen me talk about, if you haven't seen me talk about the faces and the counters and the audibles, that is something. I'm going to get down. I'm going to show you something here. I want to tell you all at one time. So the way that I've got a playbook, and I'll show you that here in a second. But there are phases, there are counters, there are audibles. All right, and there are what we call wrinkles and different entries in this offense. But when you phase, what I call a phase is when you go from one core set to another core set. So like when we're talking about going from low post, how do we get into chin? How do we get into point? If we go from one direct core set to another core set, it's a phase. A counter is when the defense takes something away within one of our core sets, and then we counter out of that into another action within the core set. An audible is like a counter, but it's a player's decision. So a counter would be like, hey, we're trying to run point, 5 man's not open, boom, let's play opposite. An audible would be, I've got a kid that's a good 3-point shooter, and we're running the point series, but they're not a good driver. So this kid might not want to run point where they got to go throw the ball to the 5 man, go screen, point screen away, pop back, get the ball, get a ball screen. That kid's might not be good at that. So maybe you're more of your role player, instead of running the point series, going, I'm going to run point opposite because I'm just not good at running point series. I want to get off the drift because I'm a standstill shooter. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that we talked about in week 2. All right, and then we talked about different ways to enter the offense. Week 3, we talked about installing the offense. We went heavy on practice plans on week 3, where we took the offense and we started putting it in. And this is where we talk about, I don't teach whole part whole. Teaching it, just teaching some of it, then showing you the whole thing is not the right way either. You have to show it step by step in progressions. So it's what I've been calling the progression method. Or you teach the first thing that's going to happen in your offense. And then if that's not open, what's the next thing that's going to happen? You teach that. And then what's the next thing? And we actually built practice plans out in week 3. Week 4, we did a deep dive. So point over the top, for example. You can run point over the top like 5 different ways. Okay, so in week 4, we went through all of our stuff, through our low post, point, chin, open, but we did a more of a deep dive into the options where we didn't do the core actions, where I showed you, well, here's a way if you want to run point series more up-tempo, you can run it this way. If you want to run point over the top and be more deliberate and slow the offense down, if you need more action, more cutting, more screening, you can run it this way. Week 5, we talked about controlling tempo, how to change your offense up and down that way. Week 6 was all wrinkles and quick hitters. There's like 20 or 30 quick hitters and wrinkles that we run out of our core 4 sets in the Flash series. Okay, week 7 was hybrid Princeton. So a lot of teams, hey, what if I have 2 bigs and they're going to be on the floor at the same time, and neither of them can run the perimeter? I was like, well, you could look at some triangle stuff, because eventually you're going to sub one of those guys out. Then you can go back into your Princeton stuff. So we talked about that on week 7, how to run the dribble drive with Princeton. And then week 8 was really cool. I was inspired by this by watching Bill Carmody's team. I don't know if they were doing it on purpose or not, We talked about advanced game planning. So how to actually plan quarter by quarter by quarter. It's like first quarter, you're gonna throw fastball, fastball, fastball. Second quarter, change up, change up, change up. Third quarter, come back to a fastball. Fourth quarter, go to a curveball. We kind of talked about some advanced game planning strategies, and that got a lot of, when we did that live especially, that got a lot of a good reaction. So a second day during each week, this 8-week thing, we broke down film. Now every week we broke down almost 2 films a week. Some weeks we just broke down my practice film. So there's actually 9. Again, I keep saying it's actually 9 weeks because we did a prep week. But I broken down, and this is me breaking down, pausing, rewinding, a Richmond practice, 2 Air Force games. We compared Nebraska Wesleyan. A coach said, "Hey, Nebraska is super up tempo." I was like, "Have you ever seen Richmond?" They're like, "No, I haven't." So we did those side by side. Like, okay, Nebraska is more of a slow down. Richmond that's the up tempo team. That's how you run Princeton up tempo. Week 3 broke down my practices. That's actually what you were watching at the beginning of this. Week 4, I looked at Coach Bill Carmody's Northwestern team and Joe Scott when he was at Denver. Joe Scott and Bill Carmody are the most creative Princeton offense coaches that I've seen. Their versions are so much more different. Joe Scott's kids are the most disciplined cutters and screeners that I've ever seen. They cut and screen so hard, and it doesn't matter where he's coaching. He's at Air Force Academy now, so I just looking at those side by side were awesome. Week 5 was awesome, where we watched Air Force play Duke, and John Thompson III's Georgetown team played Duke. And now they were 1 year apart, but Georgetown run like three Princeton sets, and that was it. 3 looks, and that was it. And they beat J.J. Redick his senior year when they were 1 in the country, undefeated. Air Force lost to Duke by like 12, but they had the entire playbook. They ran like 50 things. So we compared those side by side. It was awesome. And then we broke down a couple Stanford games, which I'm going to add some Stanford games because Stanford actually, they got smoked in one of these games, and then another game that was kind of competitive, but there was a lot of things adjustments I wanted to see Stanford do. But this was, I think, last year's group. I'm going to add some film to this. There's some new film that I want to break down and put in here. Week 7, I went down and broke down Princeton's 1989 game versus Georgetown and their 96 game versus UCLA. And you can really see how the offense has evolved. And that was really cool. That was really, really fun because those are the 2 games that put Princeton on the map. Okay. And so we did a lot of film room. And I'm actually, as the summer goes and as next fall comes, there's a new game and I want to sit there and break it. I'll break it down and we'll just keep adding to this. So it'll get more and more. So, and then a third day for each of these weeks, we did a breakout session. So actually week 1 and week 2, we did what we call the Core 4 practice plan. So I built out 3 practice plans, day 1, day 2, day 3 for the low post series. If you were starting there, for the chin series, if you were starting there, the first 3 days, all chin. First 3 days, all low post. All point series. First 3 practices of all the open series. How I would put those in individually. Okay, that's what we did in these sessions. We broke down our offensive transition, what we do Princeton versus a zone. We spent a whole day on that. A whole bunch of different secondary breaks. I'm not a secondary break coach, but I started looking into it for that session. It was really good. And if I get back into coaching, I would run a lot of that. We did week 6. We broke down Princeton's matchup zone, which I actually ran for a little bit at the high school level. Baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, special situations. So that is the what I call the Princeton Offense Workshop. It was an 8-week workshop, actually 9-week because we did the bonus week. It's over 45 hours of content. Okay, and then also what all the coaches got that got the workshop was they got another Facebook group. This is like a no holds barred Facebook group. In the one you guys are in now, I'll answer questions best I can. In the other Facebook group, if there's a question and I can't answer it with text, I'll make a video and I'll just record a video on the whiteboard and I'll show it. Okay, or coaches. Sometimes coaches will post film of them playing or their guys playing, and I'll break that down in there. But it's a no holds barred Facebook group. When I do some of these trainings, I'll do them live in that Facebook group as well. Okay, so everything in the workshop, the whiteboard sessions, the film room, the breakout sessions, the insider Facebook group, there's over 45 hours of content in there right now. And if you don't have Facebook, which a lot of you, I know there's a lot that don't have Facebook, all of this content is in a members area where you get a username, password, and it's all on demand. Okay, so we've already done this live. So if you didn't want to wait to see all this content, or if you want to jump around a little bit, which I wouldn't recommend completely, but you can jump around and look at what you want to look at for what the situation that you're in. Okay, all this content is available in a member. I'm going to show you the members area in a second. Okay, so again, my goal and my role online, again, I'm not doing a, hey, run the offense like I ran. I'm like, learn the offense, run it the way that makes sense for you guys. I'm not the kind of coach that's interested in golden nuggets. I like gold bars. I don't try to learn the tricks of the trade. I want to learn the trade. I don't want to learn gimmick systems. I want to learn proven systems. Okay, and that's my sincere intent with this program. And again, I've told you guys I love over delivering. I love high value stuff. So in addition to the workshop, I included a digital package, and this is where this is a lot of coaches love this. This is my playbook. This is not a playbook that was done on Fast Roll. Right now it's 90 plus pages. And I'm still adding to it when I have time to sit down. I see something, I'm like, oh, let me go add that to the playbook. Okay, I continue to add to the playbook. Now my playbook is what separates my playbook from every other playbook out there. And hopefully you guys can see everything on that page. Yeah, I think you can. I break down each page with a different, they're all color coded. Okay, so if you look at the page on the left, if there is a black bar above the page in the playbook, it is a core series. If there's an orange bar, then we're talking about entries or false motions, which I'm not a big fan of the word false motion. I like strategic motion, but that's kind of what's catchy right now. If there's a light blue bar, this is a phase or a combo. So this is one core series to another core series. Okay, so when you're looking at this, when you're looking at all these X's and O's and lines and arrows and basketballs and numbers, if you see a light blue bar, hey, this is how you get from a core series to another core series. Okay, if you see a red bar on top of that page, that is a counter or an audible, or a counter is defense took something away, so we're running a counter. Audible is, hey, I'm a role player, we're running point. I know, hey, that kid's good at running point. I'm not. I want to run point opposite so I can get off a drift because I'm a set shooter. That works better for me. Okay, when you see a red bar, that's what's going on that page of the playbook. When you see a green bar, that's a wrinkle or misdirection. Those are quick hitters. Like we're running chin, chin, chin. Then we want to run chin black, chin number, chin orange, chin special. We have whole bunch of different calls for a whole bunch of different, quick hitters that we want to run within the offense. It uses the foundational core sets, but then we just change it up and do something completely screwy that we don't do anywhere else. That throws the defense off, and hopefully we get good looks out of that. And then I've got a dark bar for extra sets and series. These are like the Flash series, the Break It series. And I'm actually adding a new bar, a new color to this. And I'm not going to announce what that is now, but as soon as I get it, I'll put it together. This is part of my table of contents right now. And it's all kind of done in order to it's kind of done in the order that I would teach it, step by step, all the way through. Best I can. There's so much. Sometimes you look at Princeton, it can kind of be like a spider web or a cobweb of stuff. What I've done in here is I've tried to put it in an actual table of contents as you go. So you don't only get the playbook where it's broken down by bars, what's actually going on in the set and how you can translate that over. But you also get this nice table of contents where you can go through, hey, we're looking at low post stuff. Where can I go there? Oh, we're looking at point stuff. Can I look and I break down everything in each one of those. And I'm actually going to be reworking this a little bit. The green ones and the yellow ones are not are the ones that are not put in yet. So that's why I highlighted those. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the last bar is. So the next color bar, let me pop back here for a second. The next color bar is the chin series is the one series everyone knows as a continuity. You can run low post as on one side to the other side, and you can run it back and forth over and over in a way that you can't get stuck. There's always a counter, there's always a move, just like everything else we do. You can run the point series in the exact same. You can run point screen away, and there's a way to run that over and over and over again, or point over the top. Or if you want to run all three, point over the top, down the middle, screen away, there's a way to keep continuing over and over and over again. But now you have three different options, so it's a little bit more unpredictable for the defense. If you want to run the open series I had a coach that jumped in the program, and I never thought about it until he asked me, say, hey, coach, I've got this girl. She's my best player. I want the ball in her hands, passing, shooting, scoring. But I want to run the open. Can we run the open series open where she's always getting the ball back, but we're still getting back doors and handoffs? And I was like, well, let me think about that. And this is kind of my superpower with Princeton. I'm really good with the creativity. If you show me a set play, I can almost try to figure out how to work that same kind of action and then blend it in with the Princeton stuff to where it flows. And that's what I'm doing. So the next part that I'm adding to this playbook is the low post continuity. We already have the Chin continuity, but then the point series continuity, the open series continuity, the flash series continuity, the break it series continuity, which the break it series we watched a couple days ago before this breakdown. And that was something that I had kind of put together. I'd not seen anyone do. I kind of blended different parts from the offense together, some dribble drive stuff, some point stuff, some low stuff, and we called it the break it series. So that's the next addition to the playbook that's not in there right now. You guys like that? Is that kind of cool? Brad, very professional. Awesome. See, Brad, do you talk about all about installing this into your program, like what you should middle schoolers? Yeah, so I think somewhere in there we talked about what we do with our middle school and our freshmen or JV. Somewhere, I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. You kind of got me right off the tip of my tongue. I'm not exactly sure exactly where it is, but yeah, we do talk about that. And I've got some other really cool things here in a second. But so that's the digital playbook. Okay. Once you get in there, you can download that, print that off. It's yours. Just don't sell it or give it to anyone else. Then I'm coming after you. All right. This is like, so when let me just tell you a story. So the Princeton guys, the original Princeton coaches were I don't know if you guys ever heard these stories. They were so protective. Everything's a copycat. Football, basketball, everything's a copycat sport. Something works, everyone copies it. The one thing that was kind of immune to that was Princeton. Because in the 80s and 90s, coaches would call these guys up and say, hey, can we run your offense? Can you teach us your offense? Can you give us video? Can we have your playbook? And they would say, no, we did this. We put this together. Learn it yourself. Click. And Bill Carmody would hang up on him. Pete Carroll would hang up on him. And would just hang up on these coaches. The practices were closed. In a perfect world, no one would run it but them. And when I learned this, I didn't have anyone tell me this. I actually learned all the X's and O's by watching film and breaking it down myself and putting it in, I had pages and pages and pages of plays. And then finally I kind of put it together the way that worked. I had one buddy that was kind of an insider that kind of filled in some holes for me that saved me a couple years. And that's what I'm trying to do for you, is save you a couple years or a few years. If you're not a junkie, I'm going to shortcut you 5-10 years. If you are a junkie, I'm going to shortcut you a couple years for sure. Maybe even more by seeing what's in here. But anyway, I was so protective when I went from an assistant coach with the girls program to a head boys coach. I would not get, no way my players were getting a copy of a playbook. No way. Players, you can't trust them. They're going to lose it. It's going to get passed around to other players. It's not happening. I wouldn't even give a copy of my playbook to my assistant coaches. Because one, I didn't know how long they were going to be with me. Two, I didn't want to get passed. Eventually, I did. I got those guys real well. But I sincerely did not want my assistant coach. Everyone's going to learn it on the floor, and that's how we're going to do it. And that's what I did. So I was super protective about this when I was a head coach. If I were still head coaching, I would not be giving this away. I promise I wouldn't. So anyway, so that's the digital playbook. The other thing is, when you look at a playbook, when you look at these playbooks, there's only so much, where'd I go there? There's only so much you can actually put in that left-hand column. And sometimes I couldn't spit out everything I wanted to. So what I did was I put together a video playbook. So what I do is I think I'm through like 60 or 65 pages, something like that. There's about 6 hours worth of this where I go through page by page of the playbook and I do it on the board behind me. So that if you're looking at playbook, but something didn't make sense, now you can go into the members area, look at the video playbook, and you can see, oh, I see exactly what he was talking about. And maybe I explain it better on video than I could actually by typing it out into a playbook. So you have both of those resources. So you have the digital playbook and the video playbook. And that video playbook is about 6 hours worth of content. Okay. This is, I think, is as valuable, if not more valuable, than the playbook. I think the X's and O's, it takes some time. The X's and O's are actually, the core stuff is real easy. Putting it together, the phases, the combos, the counters, the audibles, which one to run when and all of it, that's a little bit more tricky. But I almost think the practice plans and how you install the offense is the most difficult part of the entire thing. So what I did was there are 7 practice plans in here, practice 1 through practice 7, um, that take you through it, and that is legit. Like if I were going to be starting year 3, year 4 with my program, I put in low post, chin, point, all the counters and stuff in between, point screen away, point over top, and I think we start getting to. I put the entire offense in 7 days. If you've ever heard anyone say that it takes you a month to put in this offense, okay, stop listening because it's not true. Okay, I can put in the entire offense, what I'm going to run the entire year in 7 days or less during your actual practices before your first game. If you give me 2 or 3 days, 3 hours a piece, three hours a day, in 2 or 3 days, I can put the entire offense the exact same way over the summer. I'm actually, okay, so I'll tell you this. This June, I'm actually working with 2 programs, a boys program and a girls program. And I'm going to be recording it. If you guys jump in and grab this, you guys will learn a little bit more about that. But I'm going to be recording this. But I'm going to put the entire offense in 3 days. I get 9 hours to install the entire Princeton offense, everything. Now, I would never recommend you do that for your team to actually run in your season, but you can do it. But I want you to see everything that's going to be. So that's kind of cool. But so day 1 through, so the first 7 practice plans go through putting everything in how I would do it. And then there are 12 more. And those 12 more are the ones that we talked about, one of those breakout sessions where I built the practice plans for the low post series. If you're starting with low post, there's the first 3 practice plans get you started. Okay, if you're only putting in the chin series, there's the first 3 practice plans to get you started. How I would put in chin start to finish in 3 days. 3 30-minute sessions. Okay, not 3 hours a day for 3 days. 3 30-minute sessions. You can put in chin, low post, point, open. You can do it in 3 days. In an hour and a half, you can install this offense. It's not, if you know how to do it the right way, you can do it in a week or 3 days, 30 minutes a day, or if you're doing it over the summer, 3 hours a day. You can have your entire offense in a couple days if you know what you're doing, if you do it in the right order. Okay, so that's how cool these practice plans are, and that's why I put those in there. And would having those practice plans be kind of cool? Would that help you guys out? Actually, there's one more thing I'm adding in with this that I did that is not, it's not up there yet, but I'm actually doing this. I went through. I've got like 7 external hard drives with all my previous game film on it and all of my documents. But when I do my practice plans, I do them on a spreadsheet, and I was actually going through some of my folders. I wonder if it's down there. If I can't find it, I'll show you guys tomorrow. But I've got. Let me just see if this one's there. How would you guys like? I was kind of looking at this. I think this is the right one. No, this is not the right one, but this is one of them. When I do my practice plans, I do them on a spreadsheet like this. This is when I was an assistant coach. I would do the offensive practice plans. But how would you guys like the entire, from day 1 of practice to the practice before we lost our last game in the tournament? How would you guys like every single one of my practice plans for an entire year? And that was one of the years where we put everything in. Those practice plans are also going to have that's what my practice plans, my older ones, would look like. How would you guys like 50 of those? Just taking you through every single thing that I did for a full year. And it's got my players on there. It's got it all broken. I break it down by the minute, and you guys can look at that. How would that help you guys? Would you guys like that's something new that no one's seen yet that I'm going to be adding to the program. So not only get these 19 pages, but you get like an entire season worth of practice. Again, even I think the year that I've got, it's like my 3rd or 4th year, I was ambitious. I put everything in. So, which I would not recommend doing it the way I did it, but you're going to see that you can do it. Okay. I break it down simple enough to be a good high school coach running Princeton. But I would probably, the way I want to run it, I would probably be better suited as a college coach, but I don't think that one's in the cards for me. So if you guys had these pre-built practice plans, would that really help streamline your practices? That really help you guys out a lot? Okay. So again, and I'm sorry, again, rabbit holes. I just kind of keep going. So I also have a PDF. I can't remember how many pages this is. This is like 15, 20 pages. I can't remember exactly. I do not, and now this one's being updated. Warning, do not teach the offense 3-on-0, 4-on-0. Do not. Okay, but what I did in this PDF is I broke it down 3-on-0, 4-on-0. Please, and it's kind of the way that I would teach it like the first year as head coach. Okay, so teaching it this way is wrong, but the reason I put it together this way is so that you can see the offense, so you can break the offense down into shooting drills and passing drills and back cutting drills, okay, where that's all it is. Okay, again, warning comes with this one. Do not teach the offense 3-on-0, 4-on-0, but I show you how to do it in a way where you can work on shooting and back cuts. And again, I'm updating this so that I'm more clear about that. But I also include, this is like kind of like the progression method on the X's and O's sheet. That's kind of what that one is. Skills and drills, we talked about those yesterday. So you get a one pager. And I'll show you guys a little bit of this in the members area if you guys want to take a look at it. But these are all the skills and drills that we use, and I've just got them written down on a PDF. Here is the actual practice plan for my 35 minute skill work session. So I just drew it out. Everything that you guys were watching on film, this practice, I got it broken down minute by minute. Okay, I love practice plans. Practice plan junkie. Of course, if you get the whole 50, if you get in and you see the whole 50 of them, every single one, it's going to have my practice plan session or my skill work session every day, offensive session every day, defensive session every day. It's all in there. So here's some offensive transition stuff we do. Here's some zone offensive stuff that we do. My core zone offense, okay, short corners, high post, beating a 2-3 zone. I should light up, okay. So everything in the digital package, the playbook, the breakdowns, all the practice plans, 60, 70 practice plans, the whole season's worth. The individual, like if you're starting with one series or another, just going through that series. If you could just go through the low post series all the way through in 3 practice plans, 30 minutes a day, how would you do it? That's what we did with that. Okay. All the skills and drills, all the skill work practice plans, the offensive transition, the zone offense. I need to update this page a little bit. If you guys have or have not seen the 3-day masterclass I did a couple months ago, or it was last month, I'm including the recordings of that in this as well. Okay, and then if you also jump in and grab this package, you're going to get, this is how you can get the replays for the 7-day challenge for free inside. I'm including that as well inside this program. Okay, so if I said something, or if you need it, sometimes what you do is a head coach will get this, and you guys are diving into the deep stuff, but you don't want to throw your assistant coaches into the deep stuff. Hey, go watch this 7-day challenge Coach Wheeler put on. Okay, and this is something, or go watch this 3-day masterclass that Coach Wheeler put on, so I can catch my assistant coaches up to where I am. I think that's pretty valuable for your program. Okay, so add the masterclass, add the challenge to the playbook, the video playbook, the breakdowns, all the practice plans are all part of this. The workshop package itself, plus the digital package itself, it's kind of like spending a whole. If you guys were to fly or drive to Ohio and spend almost 2 weeks straight with me every single day learning the Princeton offense. Okay, that's pretty valuable. Probably, I think I've met a couple coaches who they said, "Coach, I would have paid you $5,000 for that program." They probably would have paid me $7,000 to come spend a week or two with me to learn this offense. Watch film, break down X's and O's, go through your personnel. Okay, it's all in all over 57 hours from what I've shown you so far. And when I got into this, I actually consulted with like some real professional marketing people and salespeople, and they looked at it as like, Jesus, everything you have there is that you cannot sell that for less than $997. And that was legit, like business advice from people who make a lot of money selling courses and whatever. I don't want to go into that, but they're like, Coach, you have too much content. It's more valuable. You should almost sell it for more than $997. But they said, don't sell it for anything less than $997. So far, I have not sold this for $997. I don't know if I will. I don't know if it'll stay there. I don't know if it'll stay where it's at. Or I don't know if it'll go up to $997 yet. I haven't made that decision business-wise, but I think it's certainly worth that for all the. I've been to the Air Force Academy. I've been to Richmond a couple times. I've traveled. There's a lot of other small colleges. All the money and time that I've spent with Championship Productions, and these are only the Princeton DVDs. that are part of that. All the other Nike clinics, all the other coaching clinics, you try to find nuggets here, nuggets there. That's all we do when we go to clinics. That's my big problem with clinics. And I've got some, I want to share you something else with you here in a couple minutes. But my big problem with clinics is we just go there looking for nuggets. I don't want a nugget here. I'm trying to solve the big problem. How do we compete with teams that are better than us? And a nugget's not going to help me do that. So I want the gold. I want the whole gold bar. Okay, I don't want to learn the tricks of the trade. I want to learn the entire trade. Okay, I'm sincere. I don't want to learn the gimmicks. I want to learn. I want to learn the proven system, not the gimmicky system. So, so today, and again, I don't know if it's going to go up to $9.97 or stay at $4.97. It's actually, you can't get this. This is not readily available. It's actually going to close down Sunday at midnight. Because well, there's a couple reasons, but one is because I'm a one-man show and I'm almost overwhelmed with all of the stuff that I'm doing right now anyway, and adding to this. And the next thing I've got other stuff coming up that I'll be sharing real soon. That's really exciting. But I have to close it down because I can't leave it open and do all of the, what they call it, onboarding and answering all of the support tickets. I'm not a big business. So, I do. It does close down Sunday at midnight, and it's still at $4.97. Or if you need to, you can go 4 payments of $137, which eventually I'm probably going to take away the 4 payments of $137. And let me just kind of adjust this because I don't think you can see all of that. There you go. Okay, so right now it's for $4.97. It's only open until Sunday. Sunday at midnight, I'm taking it down so that I can go and get everyone in, get all the questions answered, and still kind of progress in what we're doing. So everything that you get with that, you get the Princeton Offense Workshop. All right, that's the 45 hours. That's the whiteboard sessions, film room sessions, bonus sessions, the private Facebook group. I should say secret Facebook group because no one else really knows about that one. All of the digital package, the playbook, the video playbook, the practice plans, the breakdowns, all for $4.97. You go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. And if I can talk and type, I'll put that in the chat. If I was a professional, I would have someone else watching do that for me. But there it is. You can go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. It is live and active. It has been taken down for the last month and a half. No one, coaches were asking if they could get in, and I just couldn't take them. I just wasn't able to. Okay, so that closes down Sunday. So again, I like over delivering. I want you to look at $4.97 and say, man, that's cheap. That's kind of what I want to do with this. So I've got 3 extra bonuses. One of them is brand new. So even the coaches that are already in the program that are watching, those coaches, you're going to see something brand new here. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I've got to do this presentation with the coaches that are already in, is we're doing a viral online fundraiser. I'll actually show some screenshots of this later, but in season, we used to do that. When I did these like 15 years ago as a head coach, we would actually mail out letters, and we would make anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 in one fundraiser. I hate fundraising. Okay. Now we're doing this online now, and it's not a GoFundMe campaign. It's not a GoFundMe fundraiser. GoFundMe's actually are not good fundraisers for high school athletic programs. And I've seen this broken down, and I see exactly why. But I'm going to have a presentation and help you guys get this set up and get you to the right people to help run this for you, as much of it as you can. So you only have to do a couple things, and then they take care of the rest, and you make anywhere from 8, 10, 13 grand. I've seen one, there was like a baseball team that raised like 26 grand in 3 weeks. It's freaking crazy. I'll show you guys the screenshots. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this as part of the program to help you guys raise, especially in COVID. There are basketball teams, I've seen the screenshots, are making 10, 12, 13 grand even during COVID, okay, in their season. Okay, there is right now is not the best time. You're not going to, if you ran this fundraiser like right now, you would not make nearly as much money as if you ran it like before your season. So there's a lot of strategies and stuff to that as well, but this comes with this program as well. The second bonus is you don't get the program, and we did this live, but a lot of coaches still like the face-to-face. So in season, we do weekly, like once a week in season, we'll do Zoom meetings either on the weekend or or one evening in the week for an hour, hour and a half, something like that, just to answer your questions one-on-one. We'll just go, everyone who's on the Zoom will go one by one and answer your question, whatever question you have. And it's group learning. It's very effective, very efficient. During the off season, I'm trying to do these every couple weeks. I think it's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4 since I've done the last one. We're trying to do these once or twice a month during the off season. And especially if you get in the program and you get in and you go through some of the stuff, you have some questions, get a little overwhelmed, overloaded, which I've really tried to design it so you don't get overwhelmed and overloaded. But we're going to have these Zoom sessions so you can still get in and see or ask me questions. You're going to have access to me like crazy. A lot of you are emailing me, messaging me, and even if you're not in the program, I'm trying to answer your questions. But if you're inside the program, we can get on Zooms, or I will actually try to find time to Zoom with you for 10, 15 minutes and answer a question if you're still stuck on something. The personal access right now is actually still very, very available. Eventually, it's going to get so busy where I might not have that. So take advantage of that while you can. Okay, go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. If you guys have any questions about this, just send me an email, coach@hoopsandDetail.com. Okay, now I've got one more bonus. This is totally free. So if you guys get in right now, this week before Sunday, I've been exploring this, and I asked you guys last night. I've got a lot of people messaging me about this, about having an in-person clinic, all on the Princeton offense, either a 2-day or 3-day clinic, where I'm working out what we're going to charge, but it might be around that $250 area. If you guys get in the program, or Coach, if you're already in the program, Phil, Brandon, guys that are already in the program, you guys are going to have this free ticket. So it's very possible I might do something like this July. Okay. And if you don't come to this, if you're not able to come this year, if I hold one next year, you can use that ticket next year. Okay. So it might become something regular that I do this once or twice a year. All right. Invite you to drive out to Ohio or fly out to, or I might come somewhere more local to where you are and hold a clinic. And if you're inside this program, for you only, the head coach or the coach that purchases this program only, you get a free ticket. If you want to bring assists and stuff like that, we'll talk about that later. I have not gotten that far with it. But if you guys want to come actually watch me with players on the floor, put this in, stop, coach, have a question. Okay, that's what this is going to be. Okay, so if you guys want to come actually watch me install this in person, okay, I'm giving you guys a free ticket to the next time, to the first time or to the next time that I do this. Okay, we might actually try to pull one of these together this July, this August, or maybe even this September. I know a couple coaches throughout September, so might do one in July. I might do one in September as well. So if you guys are interested in that, this is brand new. So Phil, yeah, this is brand new. So I know that if you guys want to come watch this, I'm either going to do a local around the Columbus, Ohio area, or I might go somewhere where more people are kind of interested in doing this. So I might even come to you, okay, to put on a clinic. So if you get in, or if you're interested about this, email me and we can talk about this later. So it's not $6,900. It's not $997. It's $497. I think all of this, you look at it, and if you saw a $997, you're like, yeah, that's probably pretty cheap for $997. Again, this isn't run the program like I run it. This is learn the whole program so you can run it. You can run it for what's best for your players. Okay, and this is the whole package. There's nothing held back in this. It's the Princeton. It's a workshop. It's everything that I can do in my office. Everything that I can do in my office is what this program is. Okay, so pretty much, if you're on the fence, jump in. If you want to jump in, you're going to have everything on demand. Everything's already ready. And I tell you what, hold on, I'll save that one for a second. But everything's on demand. So you can get in and just start going through it tonight, tomorrow. Okay. After Sunday, it's going to close down. I've got something else going on in June. I don't know if this will be open in June or not. Okay. So I've got a podcast coming out. I'm launching a YouTube channel where we're going to do trainings on YouTube, on a podcast. I'm actually meeting with groups of teams in June and July, boys and girls. And we're going to be doing stuff then. So I don't know if this is going to be available after Sunday for June or July. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. So, or you can also hang in and keep doing what you're doing. You can certainly get there. This is a shortcut. This is like cheat code. All right, this is like a cheat code to the Princeton offense. Okay, so it's the PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. You get the workshop with the whiteboard sessions, the film room, the bonus sessions, the Facebook group, all of the digital package, the playbook, the video playbook, the practice plans, everything for $497. Okay, you get the fundraiser, you get the Zoom session, all the Zoom meetings that we do, and I record the Zoom sessions and I put them back into I put the Zoom sessions back into the members area, and I kind of label some of the topics that we do. So if you missed a Zoom session, you can go back and watch it. Okay, and then you're going to get a free ticket to my next in-person on-court coaching clinic, and it's going to be Princeton offense only. Okay, maybe we'll do some matchup defensive stuff. It's going to be all Princeton. You're not looking for nuggets when you come to this clinic. This was going to be like a gold bar clinic. Okay, and that's how you do it. That's how you get in. So if you guys have any questions about that, okay, you guys can. I'll hang on here for. I know you guys have been troopers. You guys have been awesome today. I'll hang out and answer any questions you have right now, or if you got to think about it. If you want to send me an email at any point in time, I'll probably be up until 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm kind of a night owl, so I'll be up. Send me an email if you have a question. I'll answer any questions that you have. But again, my goal is to over-deliver more than anyone can ever possibly over-deliver. I want you to look at $497 and say that is cheap. Or even if it were to be $997, say that were cheap. After Sunday, I mean, the professionals tell me to raise the price, but this is kind of where it's at right now. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Do you guys like that? Is that pretty cool? So it's PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. It's only going to be up till Sunday. I'll talk about it briefly tomorrow, and then I'll talk about it this week. This weekend, I'm going to do a little bit longer sessions because Saturday we're going to do X's and O's. So I'm going to go through the entire core 4 set. I'm going to go through low post, chin, point, and open. Saturday might be a 2-hour session. Sunday is going to be at least a 90-minute session. Sunday we're going to build out a practice plan. We're going to build out one practice plan. I'll let you guys tell me what you want to do. Low post, chin, open, point, whatever it is, and we'll do like a 30 or 45-minute practice plan. And I'll just build it on the fly, on the run. I'll take you through step by step the progression method, how we install the offense, and we'll do that right there Sunday. Okay. So Creighton, you love it? Awesome. Yeah, awesome. The only other so trying to find an analogy. The only other way that you can learn as much as what I'm trying to teach you in this program is to go be an assistant for Richmond. I'm trying to make this as valuable or more valuable than being an assistant for Joe Scott in the Air Force Academy. Okay, even if you have a great coaching background, becoming an assistant coach at one of those places is so hard. They hire former players. I'm telling you, there's Chris Mooney and Joe Scott and the guys at Princeton. They've got their. I would love to go coach for those guys, but they are they keep that stuff tight to the chest. Okay, they like to hire from within. I think the only other way, there's 3 ways to learn this offense as well as those guys. One, go learn from those guys. Go play for those guys. If you're a young player, and if you could go play for those teams, you can learn the offense the way that they know it in that depth. 2, take this program, or 3, spend about 20 years teaching it. And I tell you what, in the last year and a half, 2 years that I've been teaching online, my level of understanding of the offense has jumped again, or at least my level of teaching the offense. I want to say both. My knowledge of the offense has gone here, maybe it's going here and here, and boom, it just jumped once I started teaching you guys, because I started thinking about it a different way. Because before I was only trained on teaching it to players, and now I'm learning how to teach it to coaches. So awesome. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of you guys still on. I really appreciate you guys hanging out here. If you have any questions, just email me, coach@hoopsindetail.com. Or you guys can go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. And actually, let me just show you. You guys are awesome. Let me just, this is what the members area looks like. And I'm actually going to be updating this as well. But this is what the members area looks like. You go in here, here's where you find there's your playbook, there's your breakdowns, there's your practice plans right here. There's your skills and drills. There's everything in there. The video playbook is all these blue tabs. Click one through the other. Go watch. These are all individual videos of all individual pages. Here's your whiteboard sessions. all the way through. Just go through, click on the video, watch it. Here's the 2019 version. I've done this twice. These are the archive versions. You actually see me with poor lighting and a marker on the board instead of the magnets. Here's the film room. Here's all the film rooms and the archive film room. Some are the same, some are different. Here's all the breakout sessions. Here's the 3-day mastermind, and there's actually a couple of different ones in here. Here is a bonus practice session, which we showed the other day. We showed some of this the other day. That's in there as well. Here is, don't worry about this chin series. It's extra, something different. And here are the Zoom calls. If you want to go watch replays of the Zoom calls, here they are. They're all in here. Okay, I think I got to upload one or two. So that's here. You're going to click on this button. Boom. This is how you access the secret Princeton offense group, Facebook group. Okay, so that's that. And then when you go, when this is the actual website that you go to order the page, and it's real simple here. It shows you everything that you're going to get, all of the bonuses, the Zoom calls, the fundraiser, the free ticket. It's all here. And I will eventually have a code that you guys can use when you when we do release the camp. But this is again, this is all kind of techie. So this is the guys who put this software together. This is like super secure and all of that. But you just go in and fill out all of your stuff. You can choose $497. You can choose $137 a month for 4 months. Which that option is probably going to go away. Not a lot of coaches use it because you actually save about $50 by buying it all at once, just because it just costs more to do the monthly thing. And then what happens was once you purchase it, it's going to take you to a page like this. You're going to click on Access Purchase, and then you're going to create your own account, and you're going to have immediate access. You'll have immediate access to everything that you just saw there in the members area. Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through that. Here's what the order page looks like. As I said, it's very clean. The software that we use is excellent. It's going to close Sunday at midnight. Okay, so once you come down here and you order, there's also something here extra if you guys want like a lot of one-on-one help. There's something extra there. If you guys want to get that, you can. You don't have to. I'll actually spend, if you guys want to, I'll actually spend 2 full hours with you, help you build out your playbook and your practice plans. With that, if you guys click on that little box down there, it explains, it's self-explanatory. And if you click on, and once you order it, click on this Access Purchase, you're going to go create your own account. Use the same email that you purchased with, set up your account. It's all right here, and then you're in, and then you got it, and you got it for life. It's not something you have to pay for every year. This is not something that that you have to pay monthly for. You pay it for once, and you have it forever. Okay, and then actually, I may go and do this live again. Okay, there's so much stuff that I've got a list of stuff. I've been planning stuff out since January. I mean, I've had this 7-day challenge on the schedule since January or December or January. I've got something coming out in September. I've got something coming out in October. I've got something coming out Black Friday, and hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll have something come out for Christmas. Something completely new I have not shared with anyone yet. It's going to be Princeton related, and it's not going to be expensive at all. It's going to be hopefully less than $10, but you guys are going to love it. Hopefully I can get that done. But because of some of the other stuff I want to do, I might do this workshop live one more time. So once you're in and I go do it live again, you're welcome to watch it live again and actually interact. Okay, but right now it's on demand. You have complete access to that. So anyway, we've been on for almost 2 hours. I'm gonna get off of here right now. It's I really appreciate you guys hanging on here. We'll talk. I'll bring this up briefly. I'll do the short version tomorrow, and then the short version Saturday and Sunday, just so you guys, if you want to see this again, or if coaches couldn't watch tonight, they can watch it tomorrow. But if you guys have any questions, email me, coach@hoopsindetail.com. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I'll be up. I'm up late anyway, so 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, I'll still be up. So you Midwesterners, West Coasters, I'll still be up. Okay. All right. No more questions. I'll let you guys get out of here. Really appreciate you guys hanging on this long. This replay will be taken down tomorrow about 7 o'clock, 7:30 tomorrow. This replay is going to be taken down. Okay. So all of our tech worked, no power outages. So everything's going to be up and going. So Phil, it's super easy, user friendly, well presented, well organized. I really appreciate that, Phil. Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 coaches that are in the program that have been watching, that have been hanging out. Actually, a few of them watched the replays. We've actually had on the 2 replays, we've had day 1 and day 2, we've had over almost 2,000 views. So a lot of coaches are watching this, so it's really fantastic. So I know sometimes it's easier to watch the replay than what's live. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. Thanks for spending this couple hours with me. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to. It was tomorrow. Tomorrow, manipulating the defense. Tomorrow we are going to manipulate the defense, and I'm going to show you how to run circles, literally how to run circles around the defense. That's what we're doing tomorrow. All right, Coach. I'll talk to you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you, Coach.